We'll call the meeting to order at 6:03. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Kevin's here. Ethel's here. Keith's here. Kearney. Damon. Yep. Bates. Yep. All right. Ucha's on her way, and Kim is at a sports game for her daughter. I would need a motion to approve the agenda as submitted, but I know we have some, we need to amend the agenda. We need to add the minutes from March 9th, because we didn't approve that last month.
I'll make a motion.
Stacy?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ethel. Any discussion about this? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. So, since we did that, now I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Approval of the minutes from the April, well, let me see. We're going to do this in two motions. First, we'll do approval of the minutes from the March 9th meeting. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion.
Second? Okay. Any discussion about this? So sorry we didn't get that done. We were very busy last.
Santa was here.
Santa was here, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. The next one is to approve the minutes from the April 6th meeting. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Good evening, Uta.
Good evening. Sorry to be late.
You're fine.
Okay, we have a couple presentations tonight. Who wants to go first? We have the Art Alliance, we have the Herb Society. Don't everybody run up here at once.
Everybody jump at one time.
All right, Sandy and Martha, please state your name and where you live. And the microphone.
Martha Butler on Macomb Street.
Sandra Bondar, 20594 Canal Drive.
Thank you.
Make sure you speak into the microphone.
Hang on. Oh, it doesn't move. Sandra Bondar, 20594 Canal Drive. And we are here today for the Grosio Alliance of the Arts. And we have an event going on. We also, we have a booth. And we have an event, two events actually. One is our garden and chair arty, which the flyer is up here so you can see it. Do you need a copy or you got it in front of your screens?
Yep.
It's on the
See it?
screen.
Okay,
so.
great. As you know, Island Fest is a big deal, and we have our chair arty. We did it last year. It was a great success, so now we're expanding it to the garden as well. So not just chairs. And we'll have the silent auction, but also we're going to have the people that bring their chairs, if they want to have a sale price, they can. So they don't have to wait till Sunday. They'll put a final price or, whatever they want to sell it as. The Grosio Alliance will get 30% of the sales, so 70% will go back to the artist of that chair or piece of garden work. We also expanded it for Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, schools, anybody can. Whoever submits their item, up to 3 items, it's a $15 fee, non-refundable to the Grosio Alliance of the Arts. But when their item sells, 100% of that goes back to the school or the Girl Scout troop or the Boy Scout troop. So it's our way of giving back. And like I said, last year it was quite successful. This that you see on here is our flyer for around town. But if you go on our website, there is more details and what people can do to, sign up. So
Can lay those on Elmo.
What's the website address?
It is Groseel, artalliance.com. Let's see. Or, I'm sorry, that's not it. What are we? Oh, grosealartalliance.org, because we're a nonprofit 501c3. So this is the third page of this flyer that has all the instructions on it. On this page, they sign, and that is the liability. And we also have the liability which protects the rec department or Groseel Township. So none of us are responsible if something gets lost or stolen, anything like that. So, and they agree to have their photos taken so we can use it in advertisement for future items. Does anyone have any questions about the garden party? No? Okay, another event we have going on at Island Fest. Why stop at one?
Sandy's part of both groups. She might.
Well, this still is part of the Groseel Alliance of the Arts. I contacted the DIA, and they agreed to do a drop-in. So we're going to have a couple tables set up in our booth area where the kids or people, they can do crafts from with the DIA free of charge. So that will be, they're going to be making butterfly, like puppets. So that we were hoping by doing this, it would bring more people into the hangar, because a lot of people go straight to the park and the rides, and we'd like to get more people flow through the hangar for the vendors and stuff. So our thinking is you keep the kids busy, the parents will shop. So, and that is it for the Groseel Alliance of the Arts. The Groseel Historical Society will have a booth next to us as well. So we will have lots of things for sale. So if you'd like to do some shopping or you love our syrup, which it's a hickory syrup, it seems to go really well. We'll have t-shirts and sweatshirts. Last year we sold out of sweatshirts. It's really weather dependent. When the fireworks came up, I couldn't keep one on the shelf because people weren't wearing sweatshirts and it got real cold. So if you aren't doing anything, come on down.
Oh, I think we're all going to be there.
Yes. Okay.
I'll be living in that hangar.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Sandy.
Thank you.
Did you by chance see that picture of the horse that I sent you from 1975 in my front yard? I know this is off topic.
I probably do.
Okay, yeah, I was like, wow. Sandy and I went to school together, so. Okay, thank you. Next up is the Herb Society.
It's so nice to see all three of you here.
It's nice to be here, thanks. I'm not saying anything, I'm just. You gotta say your names and where you live. Yeah. I'm Michelle Babcock. I live at Meridian and Bridge, and this is Terry Hunter, who.
I live at 25630 East River Road. Good evening.
And we're representing the Herb Society, who for almost 20 years has taken care of, has installed and maintained the garden at the chicken coop, the children's garden. Also, as almost all already acknowledged, is Ann Loftus, who's a member of our group. Oh yeah, this is a picture of a long time ago at how nicely the coop looked, and that I never even saw all that greenery. So we're here to raise awareness about the current condition of the chicken coop and to share a brief history of the Herb Society, partly because as we talk to our members and other people, we realize that there's a lot of historical knowledge that's been lost. People don't, it's been 20 years, people don't realize how that garden got put in, you know, who did it, why we did it, and it seems like it's once in a while you got to refresh memories. And to and So to share a brief history of our organization, but also to educate you on the history of the garden and our past and current relationships with the rec department. So the first part of this is to tell you some about the history of the Herb Society, and since Terry has been a member much longer than me, she's going to do that part.
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening, everyone. So the Grosse Hill Herb Society was founded in 1975, and so we've been a community organization for 48 years. And we currently have 40 members, and we are a 501c3 organization recognized by the IRS. Our purpose as a group is to study herbs, to learn their history and cultivation, along with culinary, medicinal, and decorative usages. But our group also maintains several community outreach programs in our community, and that includes the Children Discovery Island. And please bear with, or the garden, I'm sorry. I was going to go ahead and start putting the pictures up so you can look and then you can listen and then as we go along. So that's what Michelle's going to do. She's going to put up those pictures for you to look at while I talk to you about the history. So as I was saying, we maintain several community outreach programs, which includes the Children's Discovery Garden at Centennial Farm, the garden at the Historical Museum, and we also award 2 educational scholarships to graduating Grosse Hill High School seniors, and we've done that for quite a few years, well over a decade, more like 15, 16 years. So throughout the year, and also throughout the years, we have supported and participated in the Grosse Hill Recreation Department programming. So the history of the Grosse Hill of the Children's Discovery Garden at Centennial Farm is, I don't know if you know where it's even located, but I will share the location once again. It's located in the southeast corner of Centennial Farm. It's in the area that was designated as the outdoor education in the 1997 Centennial Farm site plan that was developed by Wade Trim, and I brought a copy of that in case it's from the archives. It's back from my day when I sat on that side of the table. The garden is near the pond. It's on the back side of the Red Barn, and it's right across from the animal shelter. And around 1997, we began conversations with then Director Tim Rooney, but we put the garden in action around 1998. We entered into what I would refer as a partnership with Grosse Hill Recreation Department to create a garden at Centennial Farm. And our organization was part of the early development of Centennial Farm, and we worked with the Recreation Commission and then Recreation Director Tim Rooney. So the Children's Discovery Garden abuts up next to the chicken coop. I didn't know if you have a picture that you might want to point out to them with that. It abuts up to the north wall of this structure, which is commonly called the chicken coop. And basically the garden faces north in front of that wall. And at the time that the garden was created, we were also granted access permission by the Recreation Department to utilize part of the chicken coop for storage of our garden materials and supplies. And the Grosse Hill Herb Society maintains a 3-season garden there at Centennial Farm. Things begin growing in late spring and then all through the summer, and then we maintain it early fall. And I think if you glanced when she was showing some pictures in the early fall, you saw some scarecrows. In the early spring, you saw the irises come up, and then this is a picture of summer. By
maintaining that, we also mean like we have our own budget to put gravel down on the paths, to buy the flowers, to do whatever's necessary, to mulch, to do whatever's necessary every year.
So Thank you, Michelle. Children's gardens are designed for sensory stimulation, and what that means is how we incorporated that at Centennial Farm was that it offers a daily exploration, and it invites play and allows visitors to interact with natural environment. And in our garden, visitors get to observe textures, smell, taste, sounds, and colors. And they get a closer look at life cycle of plants, and they also are surrounded by the wildlife on our island. And along with the wildlife there, it's adjacent to the horses. So it's a really quite serene and beautiful area there in that little corner of Centennial Farm. We divided the Children's Discovery Garden into different sections, and I know she's got the big map up there. I don't know if Michelle wants to find another one. And each section has a unique theme and corresponding plants. For example, one of our themes is a pizza garden, and it's shaped like a slice of pizza, and that is where we grow tomatoes and basil and peppers and oregano and things that you might find on a pizza. So the students and visitors of the garden kind of connect with that theme. But our other themes include you're looking at like our tic-tac-toe garden, but we have a fairy garden, we have a rainbow garden, we have a kitchen garden, a ladybug garden, a tea garden, a touch and feel garden, butterfly garden. So it's really, we've taken this, this space and really incorporated a lot of different sensory stimulus for the visitors to the garden. The Children's Discovery Garden at Centennial Farm not only beautifies that landscape there, but it's also good for the environment. It provides opportunities for learning and opportunities for children to play, and it encourages creativity and imagination. And a visit to the garden can definitely relieve stress, and so therefore it increases your wellness. The garden is heavily used and is frequented by multi-generational visitors, and I hope that helps you get a little bit of a background about the Children's Discovery Garden, why we maintain it, what it's all about. And I know that since I don't know if you wanted to talk about this, but
I didn't know where it was going to go.
we wanted to make note that at one point in time when Tim Rooney was the recreation director here, he had given, we had received an MRPA Community Service Award for our work there at the farm with our group. So, and you can kind of read what it says there. I don't have to read it to you, I don't think. But Michelle was going to pass the baton back over to Michelle, but I hope that you gleaned some insight to what a children's garden is all about.
I need my thing. Thank you.
Bear with us.
So all of that was to give you more of a reason to understand why we really have been bugging you for a while, been certainly bothering Kim for a long time to get the coop.
And me.
It's
all good.
We were talking to Kim a long time
ahead,
before
yeah.
you. You're lucky.
Not everybody's aware of what, but they're going to tell us why they're presenting this
okay.
to us.
So, we're there all the time. And we know not everybody goes wandering through the farm all the time, or you have a lot on your plates, and I'm sure you don't know every single corner of the aspects of the recreation facilities. But we're there all the time, and we see the coop, and wanted to show you the state of the structure, so you understand why we're so annoying to you.
I'll say why we are advocating.
Yeah. We've had some graffiti. There's holes in the walls that let critters in, weather in. you know, not even talk, the paint is flaking off and stuff. The windows, this is what you see here is a board because the window's fallen out. Windows on the other side were also fell out, but have been like plastic or, you know, Lexan has been put in there, but that's, it's not been done correctly. It needs some stripping or something because it's bowing out and it isn't very effective anymore. The lot of weathering. There's holes in the bottom where the structure meets the ground, and so dampness and stuff has worn away. The fence is quite mildewed and needs power washing, and maybe that's all, but maybe also painting. So we know this week Kim told us she's going to start getting the structure power washed, and then when she has, I'm assuming, a summer help, she's going to start getting it painted in June. But we'd also asked for the fence to be power washed as well. I'm not sure. She didn't mention that. I don't know if that was part of her thinking. But we really appreciate that anything is getting done. And anything that you want us, if we need to move things, we are trying to leave, because this is the time of year we start putting out little things for the kids to play with, but we're going to keep them away from that wall. But if there's anything you need, if we need to cover, especially by June, cover plants, move things, we're happy to be part of that. But it's a historic structure, and we're afraid if we keep ignoring the repairs and the degradation, that it's going to fall into more decay and eventually become dangerous. It's already almost an eyesore, so we don't want it to be worse.
Any questions for the Herb Society ladies? Keith?
Could I just finish
Oh.
up?
Yeah,
sorry.
sure.
Because we did have something that we wanted to ask for, of the Rec Commission. As Michelle said, we recognize that the chicken coop is township property, and that the jurisdiction and responsibility for the maintenance of that property lies there with the township, with you. But we come here this evening to ask you to place a priority on the maintenance and the repair of this historical structure, and that the cost of the repairs to the chicken coop can somehow find a way to be allocated in a budget, either the Recreation Commission's budget or the township's budget. The Grosse Ile Herb Society is willing to work together with the commission to develop a plan of action, a scope of the project, a plan that includes a timeline and completion. We have partnered with the Recreation Commission and the department in the past. We'd like to continue, and we've had a very positive relationship with the Recreation Department, and we'd like to continue that. We came here to educate you about the garden, to try to show you how we've been good stewards of the land that was given to us to maintain. And we've been faithful with our partnership with you. And so since as Michelle has mentioned, we've financially invested in this a little piece of heaven on our island for over 20 years. And that doesn't include, the investment of volunteer hours, personal contributions, and the giving of people's time. But we do want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak with you tonight. And we'd like to invite you to come out to the garden. We'd be happy to give you a tour. We'd be happy to meet with you and talk with you further about this, something that's near and dear to our heart. And of course, the best time for a tour is probably when it's in full bloom, but we'd be willing to do it anytime with you. So, and then that is the end of our presentation.
Come out anytime, but if you want a tour, we can explain all the different.
I have a couple questions. I know that you sent an email to Kim. I think it was September of 2019.
COVID.
That was where I was getting to. So a few months when I know it was in the fall, and then that following February, March is when COVID hit. So we're just coming out of that. But you said you have 40 members for the Herb Society,
We do.
and
And that is sort of purposeful. We've always tried to keep it,
how do you raise your monies for that?
Well, we used to do the Herb Fest, but that was prior to COVID. And since COVID, our funds have been raised through internal auctions.
Are you going to
Our
bring
group.
Herb Fest back this year? It's kind of late.
No.
So,
No.
okay. What about next year?
Chances are that Herb Fest is something that went the way with COVID, so there's many reasons it's not. We're trying to reimagine Herb Fest is probably the tagline that I should give you. So it's not 100% that it won't ever come back, but at this point in time, we're trying to reimagine that event.
I don't know if you're aware, but I did get the Education Foundation down there to get their stuff out of there, and I haven't peeked in there since then. Keith and I met with you down there too, and we're trying to get a group of people together. I mean, the funds are so tight for the rec budget, and I know everybody is aware of that, you know, and we have somebody coming out this Saturday to start power washing. I'm going to be down there just to see what's in that still. So I think that we need to reach out to the community also, like we did with the Playscape in the early 1990s, and try to make I don't want to speak for Kim, but for the commission, I think we can afford to buy the paint and do that kind of thing. I don't know what it's going to entail, because I know there's nails and there's, holes in there that, like you said, critters get in and out of there that need to be addressed. Uta, you want to help me out here?
Yeah, Uta's gonna try,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, I think at past meetings, we have talked about, a community action event. We've talked about an Eagle Scout project. We have a lot of human resources within our community, within the township, that we could try to harness to do this. I know, the sad part of this is the rec budget is very, as you know, very tight. And one of the reasons it's tight, it was never imagined to handle all of these capital projects, capital improvements. And when rec was first visualized, it was housed in the, old fire bays of the old township hall. Eventually moved to Centennial Farm when we bought the farm, and then ultimately ended up being merged with Water's Edge, which, but we've never, and I hope my board colleagues who are watching listen, we've never really adjusted the way the rec budget can handle some of these capital improvements that were never really envisioned to be part of recreation. So I think our commitment is there. I think our desire to help is there, and we're just going to work with you to be creative. I'll take this to the board as well, to see what we can do. But I think Chad is right. We can't make any promises at this point, but we are aware, painfully aware of what is needed, and struggling to find ways to make all of that happen, to get all the pieces together so that we can actually do a project. And I think that is going to need sponsorships. It's going to need donations of time and money and materials. When the Eagle Scout built the stairway down to East River, on the river, one thing that was neglected was building department participation, permits, engineering. And I think one of the things we're going to have our inspectors do, or I don't know how it is done, is just really assess the building and make sure that the repairs that are done are proper and will protect the building and not further damage the building, but we need to get them involved. What I'm saying is we can't just, eyeball it and say, well, let's just, so it's always a lot easier to say, this is what we want to do, and then when you get down to putting the list together of what needs to be done. But I think I speak for our commission, and the heads are nodding, that we are with you in this, and we'll work with you to make it happen.
And the Eagle Scouts are aware of this. They are, we're submitting a couple projects to them that they can pick from around the island. And this is one of theirs to come in. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. I just heard about it yesterday.
That's good. Great.
And they're looking, there was the chicken coop, and there's a couple other things. But to piggyback on Uch's comment about the budget too, we just sunk $180,000 into the fence at the farm, and we're now tonight we're going to be discussing replacing equipment at the restaurant at Water's Edge, and it's like they don't allocate funds for certain things. Or just, and I know you're passionate about this, Sandy. You're with the Historical Society, right? I mean, what would be the options of maybe them coming and helping with this project and that, and.
Yeah, you can't speak on behalf of them.
Can I just, to address your, about the historical structure. I have several relatives at Lawrence Tech, and I recently got the phone number and email of somebody in the architectural department who knows about this.
Michelle, microphone, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So I can give you the name and number of somebody at Lawrence Tech who's in the architectural department, and it focused on historical restoration. I don't know if she'd be thinking about her chicken coop, but if she can, if
Well, the thing is, you pull in all your promises, chits and IOUs, and you talk, we have a lot of college students who are graduating from, technical universities who have, who are looking for some sort of, community project, et cetera. We have high school students, and it's just a matter of making sure that whoever we pull in, one, that we can afford them, and two, that they can ensure what they're doing, that they can ensure that what we are doing is the proper thing to do. And and the only reason I brought up the staircase is simply because plans were put together to start building it, but we would make any other township resident get permits and inspections and so forth, and we didn't do it for our own project. So we just have to be mindful that whatever we do, we have to respect our rules and do it the right way. And I think it'll get done. I'm not saying it won't get done.
we're not expecting something to be done overnight, although to power wash and paint this summer, that
won't need a permit.
That's going to be a great help, and that's a short-term vision, if I
But
may.
other than that, I would think maybe like a preventive maintenance plan.
Exactly.
Which is-
For,
right.
that you take care of
Yes.
through the next 5
So
or 10
I
years.
think too, when you were showing us those pictures of the beautiful gardens and everything, you could see the weather starting on that building already. So I'm just a little concerned that it took this long for it to come in front of this commission to,
Well,
I saw 1999 on something there on one of the pictures, and it just seemed like you said, preventative maintenance. We need to make sure that going forward, it's sealed properly or whatever they do, because it's,
So this also raises, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Terry.
Okay.
Having served on the school board, you know how difficult the T word is as well, or the millage word. But one of the things that, and again, I'm hoping my board colleagues are listening, that we've already brought up in conversations is that for the future of Centennial Farm, just like other assets that the township has, we really need to start thinking about a maintenance budget, a maintenance millage. We raised the money to buy the farm, but we never did raise money to maintain the farm. We used the cell tower funds to do that, and we had tenants, paying rent, but that never covered the needs or the bills. So We've taken some positive steps in terms of the tenancy at the farm, trying to generate more funds there. We've had to do a lot of maintenance of the fences that took a giant bite out of our budget, but it had to be done if we wanted to keep a tenant there. And our promise with buying the property was to keep a horse farm and to provide public access to a horse farm. So, we've got our marching orders. I don't want to overtalk my welcome here, but we have to, these are some serious things that aren't going to get solved tonight, but that I wanted to let you and the community know we're aware, and we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. We want to have some public forums. We want to have group meetings where we bring different stakeholders together, like you mentioned, people who have an interest in maintaining our recreational facilities. So all of those pieces have to come together, and we'll do what we can do first. The easy, the low picking stuff, the painting, the power washing, repairs, and then from there we'll work on the bigger picture. Always one step looking what's next.
So you will take the lead in organizing and getting
Like
something.
I said, this Saturday, we got one of our guys coming, well, two of our guys coming out to start cleaning it up and all that.
But I mean, not just short term, because I think that need has been met, but this long term, what we were asking about the priority. And I do hope your fellow board members, township board members, are listening, because I do have an appreciation for what this committee does and with the limited resources that you have. And yes, your budget has not been increased to accommodate all the acquisitions, the capital projects that have taken place, and that you fall under your umbrella, and that's tough.
Well, and just to be honest with you, our millage is up for renewal. We've never been able to pass an additional millage, and now it's up for renewal. And, without sounding too alarmist, without the renewal, there's no recreation department.
Wow.
So and that millage was really designed to cover staff, to do the programs, to generate the activities that raise the money. But if there are people in this community who do not, who have come to this board in the past few weeks even, and said they don't think we need these public facilities, that they're not used enough, or they don't use it, so why do we have it? I mean, that's my understanding of what they've been saying. And I've been asking other people to say, come to our meetings to let the board know that this is not the only sentiment on the island, that there are people, and people have been coming now to say, oh my gosh, I don't own a horse, but I love going to the horse farm. I'll never ride a horse, but I love going to the horse farm.
But the farm is so much more.
But,
it has
yeah,
developed
I'm just
into so
giving
much
you
more.
examples.
And I would say it's a community value. Our Grosse Ile has values, and the Centennial Farm is one of those values. And so, yeah, I would be one to sit down with someone and present an opposite point of view than those who you are hearing talking. So, anyway, like you said, we are here to do our part as an organization, and willing to partner. So.
And as you know from past years, when we were having our rec meetings in the rec building, and you and I and Dick Weiss and Otis, were painting. Resources have always been tight, but there's been the spirit to do it ourselves. And Centennial Farm has now grown, as you pointed out. It has a dog park, an action area for dogs. We have
A playground. You
a
have
playground.
a
Our
multi-use
kids help pick
facility
that stuff.
you do programming and events
Yeah,
and.
we have pavilions, we have a fountain area.
Well, remember that fountain? There was a group that wanted to fill that in like a year or two ago too, and there was a couple of us that are like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right, and that's where this comes back to the co-op, because it is a historic structure.
Yeah.
It is one of the original structures of that farm, and it was there in place when our community bought it in 1996. So to let it fall into disrepair, that's going to be on our watch.
Yeah, yeah.
All of our
When the
watches.
community bought that facility or the township bought that farm, they did not up our budget to help run that farm. So like 20 years later, we got the fence at the pool falling apart. We got the fence at the farm falling apart. We got, the kitchen equipment. So we have to, Marina was just done last year. And so like I said, we want to work with you guys and
Right,
do
and the
something.
commission needs to be supported by the township and the
We do.
township's budget. And if necessary, an additional millage for the community. I mean, we can all work together to get that. But no, I guess what I'm trying to say is I think I understand what you're up against.
Right.
But we're here to advocate for this.
Sure, and we
So-
appreciate that 100%. I just,
Because anytime any one of us goes to the garden, there are moms and their
Yeah,
kids. Or
absolutely.
grannies and their, the
People just
use it.
walking their dogs.
Yeah, and
you know.
that's like just people walking around with their dogs. But the kids come to play. in
have
the
you
garden.
looked at what it's going to cost to do that, or is that what you want us to do?
Oh, no, we have not looked, we've not done a cost estimate on that building.
Absolutely.
No, it's 20 by, somebody says,
But because it's more than just your kids.
yeah, I would say maybe but maybe 30 by 20 or,
If you're a me-only person,
But I know there are.
I don't know, because since,
Someone needs to, I
yeah,
mean,
somebody has to evaluate, because.
Bring it,
seems
bring
like
it.
those are historic boards, so I don't know if you could actually replace them. They're not flat, normal boards, they're sort of textured. So one of the experts would have to say how best to see.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. Those boards are not like something you go to Home Depot and get.
Right.
so that's why, like you
So it might be
said,
like
put our,
wood
the Girl Scouts can learn how to hand hew logs and, no, I'm
not a
kidding.
builder.
Just don't put your eggs all in one basket for the chicken coop.
well, I like your idea of utilizing the resources in our community and trying to come together to do a good thing.
It's
to
going to
speak
take
very
sweat
simply.
equity as well as, our budget, and it will, I think, end up, I'm hoping, bring our community together in an effort to save something that's of value to us. So I'm going to look at it on a very positive note. And, it's sad to say it comes down to saying democracy is a contact sport, right? If you don't contact each other and your boards and your neighbors, things fall apart and nobody knows what's going on. So we need to have this back and forth and this communication to get a project started. And so you've taken the first step. You've made it very clear what needs to happen. And, we'll work with you to take the next 1,000 steps.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Okay, with that, we're going to move on to, there's no any more public comment. We're good. Action items.
Mr. Chair, can I just ask you a quick question?
Yes.
I am sorry I was late. I could not get out of work sooner. Did we add the items to the agenda?
We did not add the $4,995. I thought we would put that under discussion because it's under $5,000 and we technically don't need the approval of the commission to do that.
Okay. I assume we don't need the approval of the board, but I thought
No.
it would be nice to be able to give the approval of the commission. If you saw the email that Derek sent, he suggested that would be a good idea. That's the only reason I brought it up, is that we could then say that the board, that the commission approved this, that, Kim did the emergency order and that the commission approves it. But again, Mr. Chair, it's up to you. and the commission, not up to me.
I can't add it right now though, can I? Because we already amended the agenda.
You definitely could add it.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with adding something when it comes up.
All right, let's do action item number 3 will be to $4,995 for repairs on kitchen
Emergency
equipment.
repairs, I would
Emergency
say.
repairs.
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
And then we just all have to vote. This-
any discussion?
This is to add to the agenda.
Yes.
Yes, aye.
So you can then call the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so
Again,
moved.
again, I would just rather err on the side of doing too much than too little. And I think it would be good for us to just, instead of just discussing, say that we also approve
I looked
what
at those
our-
emails. It was a little lengthy, but do you know what part of equipment it was?
Yeah, it was the cooler
The cooler?
Yes,
place, correct. I know all about it. but
refrigeration.
We don't
All
need
right.
to really get into
All right, so,
Reason it was the county, it no longer, if we did not repair it, it would no longer live up to county standard.
code, yeah. Action item number 1, vote and approve the pole fence replacement bid to Veterans Fence in the amount of $28,432.
Second,
Okay, discussion about this. So Kim applied for a grant, right? She did. So this is not coming out of our budget. This is grant money, right, Uta? We're just awarding the bid to Veterans Fence.
Wendy, I'll make the motion since
Okay.
she seconded.
Okay,
That's fine.
yeah, like,
That's okay.
So yes, vote and approve the pole fence replacement bid to Veterans Fence in the amount of $28,432. We got a motion, we got a second. Any discussion about this? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
And it definitely was the low bid, though. No, it was not. the
It was
low bid.
not. It was
the-
like
It was
$40.
the lowest and best bid.
It was the best bid. Yeah, it was $40 over the other one.
But yeah, just to be clear, because I might have muddied the water there, we can select a higher bid because we consider it the better bid.
Plus, this is the company that redid all the fencing at the farm and everything, and they just do an amazing job. So we thought it would be really appropriate to go with them.
And there's a time factor here too because of the beginning of the swimming season. And I think Kim said a single, no, it's obviously not a single source because we went out to bid, so.
So we're good with that? All right, number 2, vote and approve Megan Trevino's addition to the Community Recreation Commission.
Who is this Megan Trevino?
She spoke at the last meeting.
I would like to second that motion. Would, any,
Well, I'll put the motion out there.
I thought you did, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. And Ucha's second. Any discussion?
We have a vacancy that we need to fill.
Yes, we do.
We have a volunteer willing to fill it. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Welcome, girl. All right. Number 3, vote and approve the $4,995 for emergency kitchen repair at 25215 West River Road, formerly known as Smokies on the Water.
Second,
I'll make the motion.
All right. Stacy made it. Uta seconded it. Any discussion about this?
and again, because it's under $5,000, Kim does have the authority, and it's also a single source because it's the only source that she has to do this. It's a respected source. And finally, it was because it was a repair that was needed in order to even keep the facility open. So it's good that it was done, is being done.
Thank you. I forgot we approved that, right?
And it's the
Okay.
walk-in
Bless
cooler
you.
freezer.
Yes. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Trying to get my calendar here. Okay. Discussion items none. My report. Okay. I'm going to do the events along with this too. Everybody knows Island Fest is coming up June 2, 3, 4. If you go to groseallislandfest.com, we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for volunteers, vendors. The fireworks are on Saturday night. I want to make everybody aware of this. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is the parade on Macomb Street. We also have a lacrosse game that starts at 11 a.m. at the high school.
High school.
And I was just made aware that we have a 9 a.m. softball game at the middle school.
That I don't know. I would guess at
What's
the
that
high school.
called?
I would guess at the high school.
That's fun.
So then if the softball's there, where's the lacrosse game at?
Well, they're on their own field.
Oh, the
Lacrosse
other
is at
fields,
the
okay.
football field.
So my point is, there's like 3 things going on Macomb Street at 10 a.m. that Saturday morning of the parade. Everybody just be patient. Get your parking spaces and sit outside your businesses or your favorite viewing areas. We are going to be bringing back the filming of the Island Fest parade.
Ooh.
I secured a volunteer that is going to film like we used to do. Then we will loop it throughout the summer on GITV. Did soccer softball. Okay. Don't forget the concerts on Thursday nights at Water's Edge and Smoky start on Thursday, June 22nd, and they run all the way till the end of August. That's every Thursday night at Water's Edge throughout the summer. And is there anything that I can't think of right now? Our summer programming guide is coming out next week in the Grosseille Grand newspaper. It'll be a centerfold that you pull out, and it has all our summer, like swimming things and events and
Awesome.
classes and all that. So keep your eye out for the next issue of the Grosseille Grand newspaper. And that's it for my chairman report. All right, let's start with Keith. Keith,
But
got
what
anything?
about your liaison here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
my
know
goodness.
I
how could
almost
it be-
filled my
yeah.
quota of words for this meeting, but I just
Director,
wanted to highlight at Monday night's board meeting, May 8th, one of the items on the agenda is Derek, the township manager, has worked with the other managers in the township to create a project list, and they're looking to allocate what they can to the COVID monies that we have remaining. There's about $695,000 remaining. A large portion of that is, I believe, requested to be used for public safety building maintenance, which is also having some defined issues. But I wanted to let you know that there is a recreation component to this list. And on Monday night, they will be presenting funding for restaurant equipment. Much of the existing restaurant equipment at Water's Edge is in need of repair or replacement. These items include the walk-in cooler, the ice machine, griddle and oven, and preventative maintenance. And Kim has also added to the list funding for Centennial Farm repairs, windows in the Red Barn, pond and paddock maintenance, tables and chairs, purchase of shed and tree removal. And we can also then maybe add a conversation about the chicken coop. But what I guess what is coming to me at this moment that is important for us to let the community know, it's not that we're bad planners, that all of a sudden these expenses are coming up and we're like, oh my gosh, we don't have the money. Like I said earlier, the township bought the farm with millage-approved funds. We have a master plan for the farm. We funded a lot of what was necessary at the farm with the cell tower funding that we got from some of the cell towers, especially the one at the Playscape. But none of that was always adequate to cover everything. But our manager has done a remarkable job of squeezing every penny out of every crevice that we have to get these projects done or started. But some of the things that we're going to have to remember as we move forward is that when Water's Edge was an enterprise fund and was funded very differently than Centennial Farm or the rec department, when we merged all those entities, I don't know that we made a very strong consideration for how all those funding mechanisms were going to work from here on in. So moving forward, I think, well, Chad and I had a conversation, and I agree with Chad that we're going to talk to our township manager and then other board members about what are some of our options for how the board, how the township, how the general fund, how COVID monies, what opportunities are there to pay for some of these capital improvements so that we maintain our recreation budget to keep our staff going so that they can keep the programs going and the grants, et cetera. So it's kind of a snowball effect, right? Without Kim and her staff, a lot of the stuff stops. And then where are we? So I'm making a plea ahead of time to say that this is what we're up against, but we also want to come up with a plan. You have a very energetic group of people here. We have a new member joining us. There is lots of work to do. We'll be reaching out into the community, and not just the Eagle Scouts, but the Girl Scouts, the Women's Scouts, the Garden Club, the Historical Society. We have all these organizations. Grosse-Ile Nature and Land Conservancy. They all have a stake in each of the facilities and areas that we incorporated under our township umbrella. And I guess I want to mimic Wynton Marsalis at my son's graduation on Saturday, saying now is the time for us to pull together to get these to get this punch list out and to get some work done. So thank you.
Thanks, Uta. Yeah, it just seems like, like I mentioned a minute ago, it's when things start breaking down. It's like it's coming from all directions now, and it's not even preventative maintenance anymore. It's just like taking care of it. And and when you brought up the other commissions and committees, I really wish other ones would like get a booth downstairs for Island Fest or something. I mean, we got Art Alliance and Historical Society, but where's our BPAC and where's I'm not calling you out, Brian Pollock. Just saying, dude. All right. Thank you. All right, now commission member reports. Keith Kuzinski.
Beyond the fact that we approved the bid for the fence replacement at the pool, I have no other report for that. But I would like to thank everyone who came out for island cleanup. We cleaned up as much as we could with the people that came out. But there's still a few places that we're going to actually run out and pick up. And I want to remind everybody that on May 20th from 10 to 2 is Flag Maintenance Day. We're bringing all 500 flags that we put up around the island for the holidays to the VFW. Come and help us go through them, replace what needs to be replaced, and we'll feed you. That's it. That's all my report.
Thanks, Keith. Kevin Naso? I don't have anything to report, Chad. All right. Stacy Demon?
I just want to say that I completely agree with Uta that these are projects that need to be taken on and looked at very seriously. The restaurant itself, we love the restaurant. We want to have the restaurant, keep the restaurant. We love the horse farm. We want to keep these things in our community, and without having the long-term project goals of getting it funded, we will not have them any longer. So I just think that really dedicating some funds to these two specific areas is absolutely necessary. The restaurant, I mean, we love all of our restaurants on island, but to lose Smokies or another restaurant in that location would be horrible for our community. I think it's a great place to be. We all like to be there. It helps the golf course. It helps the pool. So to let any of that go by the wayside would be completely unfortunate. And I mean, just a sad, sad day for us. So I think putting money back into that is a top priority, I would say. But I'm just seconding what Uta said. That's all.
It makes us smile too, right?
I like it there.
Thank you. Wendy Kearney.
All right. Okay, so the kids left for 5th grade camp on Tuesday and will return on Friday. A big thank you to all the high school kids that volunteered to go and be camp counselors. That is a key thing in order to make camp happen. So thank you so much to our seniors and juniors that went. A big thank you. I just want to take a minute and a big thank you to Kiwanis, to Rotary, and the DDA for supporting the senior banner project again this year. The banners are done and will be going up on Saturday, May 13th. Hopefully it doesn't rain. And we'll stay up through June. I can't wait to see all of them down Macomb, so I'm excited to get those up. Seniors have their senior walk on Wednesday, the 24th. Seniors' last day of school is Friday, May 26th, and graduation is on June 1st. And I just want to take a minute to congratulate all the seniors. We're so proud of each and every one of you and wish you the very best of luck as you begin this new chapter in your lives.
Somebody's got a senior.
And then Monday, May 1st, was National Principals Day. So a big shout out to all 4 of our amazing principals, Ms. Parsons, Mrs. Garza, Mr. Tromka, and Mr. K. Thank you so much for all you do for our schools. A big thank you to the Groseal parents and community members for all their support for teacher and staff appreciation. Every so often, I put out a plea on Facebook. Seems like it's more often lately than not, to raise money to spoil our teachers and our staff a bit. And once again, the GI community answered my call. We raised enough to have Top Dog Catering, which are out of Oak Park, here to provide a yummy lunch to all 4 of our schools, our bus drivers, and our admin staff. So I just want to take a minute to thank the community. I'm also going to post pictures on Facebook, but to thank the community for donating, and we were able to provide that for the staff. Originally, I had it set for next week, but there was a mix-up with the caterer, so we were able to do it this week, but it was a mix-up in our dates, so we were able to do it. So next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and PAT and PTO are doing something each day for our wonderful GI teachers. Next Thursday kicks off the high school play Mamma Mia, so performances are at 7 o'clock on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. My nephew's in that, so everybody should come. Tickets are sold at the door, but be sure to come out and support the amazing work of our high school theater group. This is a great group of kids. They've won many awards. They've gone to different competitions throughout the state, so please come out and support them. And a big congratulations to our high school wind ensemble. They received all ones at states in Brighton last week, so we're very, very proud of them. They did an amazing job. There's a lacrosse game actually as we speak, or as I speak, at the high school, and they have another home game this Saturday at 1 o'clock. So come out and support our lacrosse team. And the last thing is just we're always, again, looking for parents on patrol for the middle school. I just did the sign-up geniuses for May and June. So if anybody's interested in that, feel free to contact me directly, or if you have a child in the district, they're on the website. So thanks, that's all I have.
Thank you, Wendy Kearney.
Yep. Emma?
Emma Bates, student liaison.
Basically, M-STEP testing is next week. I think it's on May 8th. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not entirely sure. All I know is it's next week, and then we're done with testing for the rest of the year. There's a book fair next week, and yearbooks are being sold, and there's only a couple left, so get them while you can.
There's 5 left. That's it.
Really?
Wow.
They keep saying there's 20 left.
We're down to 5. I posted on Facebook, and now we're down to 5. So I put it out to the, yep.
Thank you. Ethel Yops.
Thank you, Chad. The pull-out section of the paper for the Recreation Department activities and events should be in the next week's issue of Groseal Grand. Please be sure to pull it out and retain it for reference and information. Updates can also be found on Groseal TV, Comcast Channel 12, WOW Channel 10, and AT&T Channel 99. The golf course at Water's Edge is open and is in great condition. Also, the driving range is very reasonable rates. The senior status is 55 and older. You call the Pro Shop at 734-675-0777 at Water's Edge for reservations and information. The course awaits you. It waits for your pleasure. Enjoy golfing close to home and save. The senior programs are ongoing. The senior fitness, senior chair yoga, cardio drumming, and all classes are interchangeable with the new punch card. Its 10 visits for seniors are $65. Cards are available in person only at the Water's Edge Pro Shop. Reminders are the Meals on Wheels. Call the Wayne County Office of Nutrition to register at 1-800-851-1454. Van transportation is provided by the Recreation Department for essential errands, Monday through Friday, 1 to 4:30 p.m. $5 round trip on the island, $6 round trip off island. Reservations at least 24 hours ahead and 2 to 4 days are preferred. Call 734-216-4905 or 734-675-2364 for reservations and questions. The Senior Citizen Club meetings are the second and fourth Tuesday of each month year-round, 1 to 3 p.m. at Centennial Farm Activity Room, ages 55 and beyond. We have coffee and dessert, information, conversation, and relaxation. Call 734-675-2364 for information. The next meetings are May 9 and May 23. Today was the Cinco de Mayo luncheon at 12 noon. About 30 seniors enjoyed a happy meal of a variety of Mexican foods, a themed table, gifts, and prizes. A piñata filled with candies was, well, people stood there and swatted at it for a while, and finally broken in celebration of the holiday. It was a fun-filled time, and thank you, Wendy, for the great first prize. The winner was very thrilled. She just loved it. So happiness is a joyous event. And I'd like to wish every mother happy Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14. To all mothers out there, you are special, and it's a day to honor moms. If you can't be with your mom, make a phone call or send a card. They will be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethel. And let's make sure that they know those were fake margaritas. There was no tequila.
Oh, those margaritas were delicious.
Mm-hmm. Sandy, you had something else you wanted to bring, I think. Come on up.
Well, and Chad, I had one more thing to close.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Let her.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
I just wanted everyone to be aware that we're getting ready for the concerts on the Commons. It'll start June 25th. There's Sunday concerts from 7 till 8, and they'll end at August 27th. So bring a blanket, a chair, a drink, your
It's at the
choice.
Commons,
At
yes.
the Commons.
Gotcha.
That's Macomb and Meridian. And we have 10 wonderful acts booked up throughout the whole summer. So, and we also have, if it rains, we go to the Presbyterian Church.
Oh.
So we do have a rain date.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Uta, you have last word here?
Yeah, well, it won't be the last word.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you have the last word, Mr. Chair. No, I wanted to kind of riff on what Wendy said. 100 years ago, I used to work at Building Blocks and as a preschool teacher, and my last group of students is graduating this year. And I see their signs around the street, and I'm honored that some of them still remember us, who taught them at such a tender age. But again, it brings back how much of a community we are, how close we are. And I want to congratulate the graduating high school seniors. They got through some tough times, and I want to really focus on the college students, mainly because I am the mother of a graduate. He graduated on Saturday, and they went through a lot. And, this is a group of kids who experienced not only all the testing and rigors of university life, but also the loneliness of Zoom meetings and Zoom classes and being locked in their dorms and not having the events that they used to have. But more importantly, having the experience of a world that kind of went out of control. And when they came from a world that was in control. So I think that's, it's not so much that they missed the football games, it's the fact that they realized everything is so tentative, so fragile. So I really want to send a shout out to all those kids, young men, young women who got through this and managed to achieve their goals. So thank you, and may the 4th be with you.
Oh, I knew somebody do that. Thanks, Uta. Keith, any last words? Kevin, Stacy, Wendy, Emma,
Happy Mother's Day.
Ethel,
Fine.
Uta. I want to just make a quick comment. I don't think we're going to have a June meeting because it falls on that Thursday of Island Fest week, which
Falls
is
on
June.
graduation night.
Oh, graduation. I thought was the first.
It is.
Oh.
That's our meeting. June 1st would have been.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry.
Sassy pants. And I just want to say with that, we have one of the best communities, and we are going into our spring and summer season. I know so many of us are boaters and horse people and cocktail people, and it is a rec commission.
That's year round.
So, and what?
That's year round.
So, hope to see you all out in the community in the next few months. We've been waiting for the sunshine. With that, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:30.
I'll
I'm
make
sorry,
a motion.
7:13.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Good night.